Last week, social media was buzzing with this story that Igbo history was supposedly removed from Nigerian schools. And honestly, that is not true. Our history is very much alive. And today, I want to take you deeper into one of the most fascinating chapters of Igbo history, Igbo Ukwu. Picture this, the year is 1939 and Isaiah Nozie was trying to dig a well behind his backyard and he made a shocking discovery that stunned the world. Bronzes and sculptures of incredible detail and craftsmanship were found in Igbo Ukwu. Fast forward to 1960, a professor of archaeology and anthropology, Professor Tuxton Shaw, digs even deeper, uncovering treasures made of copper, lead, bronze, and iron, all linked to the sacred kingship of Ezenri. These aren't just objects or relics. They tell stories of a people with artistry that rivals modern skills, of trade routes reaching North Africa and Congo, and of rituals, burial rites, and celebrations that shaped Igbo culture for centuries. In this episode, we are diving deep into Igbo Ukwu history and culture, exploring burial grounds, abandoned treasures, sacred ritual sites. You are about to watch in this video how the ingenuity of Ndi Igbo has left a mark that is still visible even in modern day. Enough of the introduction, let's jump straight into the model. Here is model 35 of Spectrum's book, Basic History for Junior Secondary Schools, JSS1. Model 35 says, Igbo Ukwu History and Culture. Igbo Ukwu is located along the lower Niger River Basin in Onitsha area. Igbo Ukwu sculptures and bronzes were unearthed by a man known as Isaiah Nozie, who was digging a well in 1939. More excavations were carried out by Professor Tuxton Shaw in 1960. Most of the objects were made of copper, lead, bronze, and linked with Igbo Ukwu sacred kingship, Ezenri. For those who usually say that Igbos do not have kings, I hope you can read this and also associate a 9th century kingship within the Igbo, because the artifacts discovered here were dated 9th century by archaeological testing. As you can see from the book, radiocarbon dating puts it at 9th century AD of the Iron Age. Radiocarbon dating of the Iron Age culture points to the fact that Igbo Ukwu antiquity is recent and the contents of the bronzes can be paralleled with the modern Igbo culture. So, the artifacts are truly indigenous to Ndi Igbo. Historians have reasons to believe that the copper used by Igbo Ukwu people must have been from North Africa or the Congo through trading transactions in the distant past. So this establishes the fact that we had trade routes in faraway Congo. Some people believed that since the use of copper has been widespread in Nigerian cultural history, it must have been an indigenous element. Igbo Ukwu sites include 3 major areas. These are a man's skeleton from a burial ground, abandoned treasures, dump sites of broken materials like bronze horseman, a leopard skull, beads, ivory, tusks, bronze materials of iron blades, ornaments, and ritual regalia. Now, for those who usually like to deceive themselves by saying Ndi Igbo do not have beads and that beads were brought into Africa by the Portuguese, I hope you can see here that beads were among the items discovered by Tuxton Shaw and Isaiah Nozie, and these items were dated 9th century. Our contact with the Portuguese was around the 15th century. Beads were not introduced to Ndi Igbo by the Portuguese, as you can see here from archaeological testing, from textbooks that are published and approved by Historical Society of Nigeria. And of course, a curriculum that was approved by National Education Regulatory and Development Council, NERDC. So, for people who say that Igbo history is not studied in schools, here you have it. Igbo history is well taught in schools in Delta State. This is just one model. I'm going to take time to read other models. But first, let's take the questions that come with this model.
A language only survives when people actually use it. If we don't speak Igbo out loud, share it, and then show it up, who is going to keep it alive for the next generation? And that is exactly why this month is Igbo Language Awareness Month. And Voice of the East is launching the Igbo Get Ready With Me Challenge. We want to see you getting ready completely in Igbo. No English, just you speaking Igbo confidently and having fun with it. And yes, there's money on the line. Big money. There's 1 million naira for first place, 500k for second place, and 200k for third place. So here's how winners are picked. We're looking at TikTok and Instagram, checking shares, like, comments, all the engagement. Your content must be original and fully in Igbo, and you have to follow our pages, of course. Winners drop at the end of February. But listen, this isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up, being proud, and making Igbo visible. So grab your phone, record your Get Ready With Me video in Igbo, and let's show the world our language, our vibes, our culture this February.
The number one question to you, my viewer, is this. Where is Ibuku located in Nigeria? 2. Which kingship is linked to Ibuku culture? And then 3. Briefly describe 2 Igbo cultural sites that you know. Now, these are questions for JSS1 students in Delta State who are studying history until you get to SS1, where you choose your area of concentration, whether you want to become a science student or social science student or art student. So, basically, everyone studies history, and Igbo history is well included in the curriculum of schools in Delta State. This is JSS1 textbook.